How's it going, my fellow inquisitorial agents? My name is Dagan. Welcome to the video. And today I am bringing you my Gun Psyker build. If you've ever wanted to live out that space cowboy fantasy in the grim dark future of the 41st millennium, well then this video is for you because today I have my space cowboy build that I want to go ahead and dive right into. Starting off with our gear. And we're going to check out our sword first. So I am using the Mark IV dueling sword. Okay, this is my melee weapon of choice, and the reason for that is the dueling swords did get a buff recently, and they are really strong. They are probably and arguably the best sword on the Psyker right now. And one of the biggest reasons for that is this particular perk that I've got rolled on my sword with Uncanny Strikes. Okay, Uncanny Strike is going to add a plus 24% rending on enemy weak spot hits, which this weapon already does a ton of weak spot damage as it is. And if we go ahead and pair that with Shred to give us better critical chance on chained hits, we've got a DPS monster of a sword right here. Okay, we're going to be able to easily take out muties, specialists, and some elites too. And as far as perks go, I like to have the 25% damage on Maniac, so that way I can easily one-shot a mutant and take out some Ragers as well. And then as far as the second perk, mine rolled with 8% melee critical hit damage. You can go ahead and put whatever you would prefer there. I just went ahead and left it. That's what I rolled with. I left it as that. Now, as far as perks go and stats, your damage, on mobility, cleave damage, finesse, penetration, all of this stuff is really important. This is a really great roll on my dueling sword here. This is the best one I've gotten so far, and it's almost nearly maxed out at 379. This is a great sword. So you kind of want to aim for this. Unfortunately, with the dueling sword, there's not necessarily a dump stat. These all affect your damage right here, all of these. And then mobility is super important for your dodge distance and sprint speed, as well as your dodge limit. But specifically for that dodge distance, the higher mobility, the further you can travel with that. So yeah, unfortunately, no dump stat. So try to get as high as possible. If you're, I guess I could say maybe mobility, if you're at 60 plus, you're going to do fine. All right. But everything else directly affects your damage. So you want those as high as possible. Okay. Now, moving on to the main cowboy part of this build, aside from the hat, is the revolver. Okay. And this is our crusher stopper, our mauler stopper. This is our big bad of the build. All right. And specifically tied with the blessing hand cannon. Okay. And with hand cannon on a critical hit, we're going to give the enemy a 70% rending debuff. Okay. Which is going to allow us to do a ton of damage. Paired with surgical, we're going to have better critical chance. And same thing here with the revolver. There's kind of really not a dump stat. I would say mobility would be the one that you would kind of want to dump if you're going to dump any of them. I guess mobility could be lower and the rest be high. But definitely want reload speed maxed out. You definitely want damage, penetration, and critical bonus maxed out 100%. Okay. You want to get those as high as possible. And I'm going to show you why I'm using the revolver with this build. Specifically, to be a space cowboy, we want to have that beautiful side piece, but also because this thing puts in work. Okay, and I'll show you that here in a little bit and why that puts in so much work. But on to Curios. Like I said in my previous build video, I like Curios to be kind of up to you, whatever you prefer. I do double toughness Curios and then one health one, but sometimes I switch them out and do double health and one toughness. But I always do damage resistance gunners. That is 100% important to do that damage resistance gunners. As you can see here, I have it on all of them, especially running this build in Auric Damnation and regular Damnation. Those gunners really do put in work, and so you want to be able to aim properly. You want to be able to stay up properly so that way you're not going down and letting your teammates, carry you through the mission. All right. And this build does run well in both Orc Damnation and regular Damnation. I've done it in both, so I know you guys can too. You just have to be really good at hitting your shots, all right? Let's go on to the talent tree. So that way we can look at what we're working with. So we're going to pick up Quietude, Warp Expenditure, and Battle Meditation, as well as Perilous Combustion. Okay, and Perilous Combustion is going to be useful whenever we are using our revolver. It's going to help us go over some damage thresholds, okay? So we're going to go along the tree and pick up Assail. All right, Assail is going to be our main tool when it comes to hordes, aside from our Dueling Sword. The Dueling Sword is going to be very helpful during those hordes, as well as, you know, taking out some elites and specialists that are rushing at you. But Assail is going to be our main horde clear, since we are running the Revolver. All right. Toughness damage reduction going down, mind in motion. Okay, and for mind in motion, we're going to pick up Inspiring Presence for that toughness replenishment to help us be a little bit more tanky. We are going to pick up Prescience so we can get increased critical chance both for us and our allies. And then we're going to pick up both Empathic Evasion and Anticipation for the dodge, and basically helping us be more tanky again. And then we're going into Scryer's Gaze, okay? And Scryer's Gaze is really cool because when we're entering Scryer's Gaze, you gain 10% damage and 20% critical chance for every second in Scryer's Gaze. You gain 1% damage up to 30%, and this effect lingers for 10 seconds after leaving. While in Scryer's Gaze, you build up peril, and buildup is temporarily slowed down by enemy kills. And at 100% peril, Scryer's Gaze ends. But because you're getting built up to 100% peril, that is going to also provide us the full bonus of Warp Rider. So we are going to pick up Warp Rider, but continuing on the Scryer's Gaze. So you can go Reality Anchor, or you can go Precognition, and I've gone for Precognition because it's going to give us more finesse damage. So weak spot kills count as 1 second spent in Scryer's Gaze. For each second spent in Scryer's Gaze, you now also gain 1% finesse damage up to 30%, which lingers for 10 seconds after leaving Scryer's Gaze. And then we're going to pick up Endurance to make us more tanky while in Scryer's Gaze. And we're going to come down, pick up our critical boost, and like I said, we're going to go down a little bit in the middle just to pick up Warp Rider, okay, for that 20% damage from all sources. And then going back down to Kinetic Deflection, going down. Take a note of True Aim. True Aim is a great passive ability, and I'm going to show you why and how it pairs really well with Precognition and your Dueling Sword and your hand cannon, okay? Dips, and then we were going to finish off with the Keystone Disrupt Destiny. Every second, enemies within 25 meters have a chance of being marked. Killing a marked enemy replenishes 10% toughness, grants 20% movement speed for 2.5 seconds, and adds a precision bonus for 15 seconds. Each precision bonus grants 1% damage, 2% critical damage, and 2.5% weak spot damage, and this stacks 15 times. And then we're going to get Lingering Influence to make this Destiny go from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. And then Cruel Fortune, weak spot kills grant 2 additional stacks of Disrupt Destiny. All right, so all of this stuff is going to kind of synergize together, and I'm going to show you True Aim with Precognition and why I take Precognition over Reality Anchor. All right, we're going to do that, and then also why we want to take Perilous Combustion. Now, if you want to make space so you can pick up Warp Speed, so you get that 20% movement speed, you could definitely sacrifice something for that. Maybe Cruel Fortune, or maybe Perilous Combustion. You can, or even maybe Inspiring Presence if you don't want that. You could sacrifice something for the Warp Speed, but I really don't think it's necessary, okay? I think the Dueling Sword has such great mobility that you'll be fine without Warp Speed, all right? All right, and now I'm going to show you why we take Precognition, all right? And why it combos well with True Aim, and even more so with the Dueling Sword than most other swords, all right? So if I come over here and I pop Scryer's Gaze, and let's say I'm in a horde scenario and I just start stabbing in the head, taking dudes out. This guy's all the way over here for some reason. All right, Now I have true aim, guaranteed crit, 2-shot, 2-shot. Look at that. So we just took out a Mauler and a Crusher with 1 mag. Easy peasy, all right? Right after leaving Scryer's gaze. So what happened there is not only did we have the bonus finesse damage from doing those weak spot kills with the sword, but we also got true aim because landing 5 weak spot hits grants your next ranged attack a guaranteed crit. Okay, so as soon as we exited Scryer's gaze, I already had true aim ready. So my first shot, I just had to aim and shoot, hit that rending from hand cannon on the revolver, and then immediately went into a follow-up shot, which took it out. And that's how it goes. So with the extra finesse damage, you're doing more critical damage and more weak spot damage. So it's really good, okay? And I find that's what I've been doing. Now, the other thing that you can do when you pop Scryer's Gaze, pull out Assail, you can go in, you can do some throw shots, quell a little bit, throw some more, and you can go again and do the same thing, okay? And the reason we use Perilous Combustion is just for the simple fact that if I kill the Mauler and there happens to be maybe another Mauler or some other specialist, they start taking damage, and then my next follow-up shot is just instant 1 kill. So really good combo right there. Perilous Combustion can really get you out of some sticky situations, so that's why I like to leave it in, and instead not have, you know, perfect timing, so we're not really doing a lot of work damage. This build focuses more on the weapons, okay, and then using Assail whenever there's a big horde, and then, you know, clean up with your dueling sword and just go in. All right, pop Scryer's Gaze, come in, get some weak spot hits, cleave through enemies, and then go in, crit, kill, kill, and just like that. So that's the build, guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you checking out my video. And if you can do me a huge favor, please leave a like down below, and go ahead and drop a comment if you have any suggestions for this build or any other build ideas. Go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll check it out. But yeah, all right, my fellow Inquisitorial agents, I will see y'all in the next video.